So now that you know what to use Python to do, now that you know what you use Python to do, the first thing is to install Python on your system. Okay, install Python on your machine. Now, if you are using laptop, it's as simple. Before you start checking if to install Python, the first thing you need to do is to check if Python is already installed on your system. How do you actually do that? How do you check if Python is installed on your system? The first thing to do is to open up command prompt or terminal. So come to your search bar, depending on the laptop, the Windows, the kind of Windows you are using. Open command prompt, type co, command. Before you finish, you see suggestion here at the top. We have command prompt. When you open that, you are going to a new screen, a new dash screen is going to open for you, which is the command prompt. And you are going to type Python space, then dash dash version. You see that? Python space dash dash version. That is to check the version installed on your laptop. That is if it is installed. If you click enter, it is going to show you this version. Now, I have version 3.12 installed on my own laptop. Now, and we have a recent version, I think 3.14. All right. Now, if you don't have it installed, this Python 3.12 will not be displayed to your screen. All right. Now, if this is not displayed to your screen, evidently it means you don't have Python installed on your system. Now, what are you supposed to do if you don't have Python installed on your system? It will simply navigate to Python websites and search how to download the Python itself. Open the browser of your choice and type python.org and then click enter. You wait for it to load. Sorry, please, my network is lagging. You just have to bear with me. Oh, am I making a mistake? I think I'm the one making a mistake. So instead of typing python.org, just simply type Python download. All right, Python download is going to show you now. Okay, good. So it's still the same thing, python.org. So let's click this first, the first output here. You click download Python and it's going to take you to Python website. Let's wait again. Just wait. Just bear with me. I don't know. The network is lagging. What is going on this evening? All right. All right. Thank God for that. So I have been able to successfully navigate to Python website. I told you to type Python download in your search bar in any browser of your choice. It could be Chrome, it could be Firefox, anyone you use, but I use Chrome, and Chrome is more common. All right. Now, on this page, you can simply see that we have download the latest version for Windows. And the reason why you are seeing this, why I'm seeing this, is because I am using Windows. And this system can automatically identify my type of laptop. All right. So you simply click, you can download Python install manager. And when you click that, you can come here to this top right and you see that Python manager is installing on my system. All right. Now, instead of also going through the installer Python manager, you can simply click the standalone installer, which is the best thing for your level. All right. This standalone installer. When you click this, it is also going to all right, it is already downloading Python installer. the standalone installer, and that is what you are going to use, standalone installer, instead of this installer manager. It is going to be Python 3.14.2. Now that it is downloading, I think we can just wait and do some other thing. I don't know why my network is slow today. I don't know. 28.5 megabytes, and is this slow? So okay, just let me wait. Let me do something, please. Let me switch from 5G to 4G. Okay, so let me resume and let's see how fast. Okay, I think it's becoming faster. All right. So instead of the Python install manager, let's go for the standalone installer, which is for Python 3.14.2. Now it is already installing for us. When the installation is done, you simply click on the downloaded file and install. I am going to show you in a minute. So this is for those of us who are going to be using laptop. For those of us who are going to be using Android phone, I am going to show you how to go through that as well. All right, so now our Python has been downloaded. You can click this envelope. It's going to take you to the download page. Now, this is it here. You simply double click on it. And it's going to ask you, do you want to run this file? You click run. So upgrade to Python 3.14. All of that, or custom installation. So now, because I already have this thing installed on my system, that is why it's telling me to select upgrade. All right, and I've selected that. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? I click yes, and it's going to set up, start setting up my the installation. I already have a video that we made on YouTube for these installation processes, and I believe if you go through these processes too, it's seamless. If the video I uploaded is not you don't understand it, you can come up to the group chat and ask questions. We are going to walk you through. Now, for those of us who doesn't have a laptop yet and we want to use phone, you simply go to your Play Store and look for Pydroid 3. I told you Pydroid 3, Pydroid 3, and install that. Also look for Pydroid permissions plugin and Pydroid repository plugins. So those are those things that will allow you to install, to use Python on your Android phone. Now, after the installation of your Python, the next thing you need to install is VS Code. So simply type VS Code download in your search bar again and click enter. It is straightforward as well. The first link here, download Visual Studio Code, you click it and it's going to take you to the website. Now, like we have for Python, we also have it for VS Code. We have Windows, we have Ubuntu, we have Fedora, and we have Mac. So depending on the kind of operating system that you are using, that is what is going to determine what you are going to download here. I am using Windows 11 or Windows 10. So you click this Windows and it's going to take you to this page and tell you that your download will start in a minute. Look at that here. If I click this, my download at the top right here, you see that VS Code is already downloading. And this one is 119 MB, which is going to take a lot of time. So also, it is very straightforward. When the download is done, double click on the downloaded file and follow the instruction. I have released a video on our YouTube that you can also watch. If you have any question regarding this, you can reach out to me on WhatsApp or reach out to Evelyn on WhatsApp. We are going to reply. Now, with this one in place, I already have VS Code. I just need to open that VS Code. Now, I told you that you need to create a folder in your on your laptop or on your phone. And that folder that you're going to create, let me close this one, is going to be for Python tutorial. All right. So this is our desktop here. If you check here, anything anything that has to do with Python course, that is what I want to put in that folder. So here I have data science, all of that. But what I need now is actually Python tutorial. So you can create a new folder and call it Python tutorial. So I will call that Python tutorial. And the reason is whatsoever it is I'm teaching you guys is going to be inside this place. And whatsoever it is you are learning on your own end is also going to be inside this folder called Python tutorial. If I double click it, there's nothing inside. All right. Now, because Python can be taught or learned in as basics, intermediate, and advanced, I think it is important to also have a folder inside the Python tutorial and call it Python basics. So I have opened this Python tutorial and I'm going to create a new folder inside this Python tutorial and call it Python basics. So anything that has to do with basic Python I'm teaching you is going to be inside this place. And the reason why I'm doing this is so that your work will be organized. Our work will be organized. We don't want to be looking for one particular file, that we don't even know where we put it. Now, when we have, after creating this one, and you have opened your VS Code, you need to be able to navigate, that is, move into your folder. All right. It's just like when you are outside of the house and you want to where you are going to is inside the kitchen. How do you move into the kitchen? All right. So we want to navigate from this VS Code into our Python tutorial folder. So at the top here, we have file. You click that file. Then we have open folder. You click that open folder. Then now with this open folder, where did you created that Python tutorial? I created it inside the desktop directly. So I'll just click desktop here. Now I will look for Python tutorial. Look at the Python tutorial here. You double click that. Now inside Python tutorial, you see that we have Python basics. You double click Python basic again. After double clicking, you come down here and select. By the time you select, it means we are inside that particular folder. Now let's wait and see what we have. You can see here now that we have Python basics here. We have Python basics, which means we are inside Python basic. Anything you want to create, if you create anything here now, it is going to reflect here. Let me go to that Python tutorial and open Python basics. I have opened Python basic. There's nothing inside. The folder is currently empty. Now, if I come into this VS Code, look at here, we have new file. If I click this icon and .py, I click enter. I have created a Python file. If I come down here, you see now that we have intro inside Python basics in our file explorer. So that is how this one actually works. All right. Now, with that in place, your installation, you have been able to install everything. You have been able to create your directory. There's something you need to understand even before installing VS Code. Okay. The moment you download Python, there's something we call IDE and IDLE. All right. IDE and IDLE. So I think I shared a video of that on TikTok. So when we say IDE simply means integrated development environment. Integrated development environment. So the moment you when I said integrated development environment, I need to explain what that means. It simply means software that provides a programmer with all the tools and software and resources that you need to write your code and to also build your software and your apps. All right. IDE is a software that allows you as a programmer to write any code you want to write. We also have IDLE. IDLE actually comes bundled with Python. The moment you install Python on your laptop, you will have IDLE pre-installed. Now, how do you know that you have IDLE on your system now? Now, just come to, let me close this so that it's not going to be confusing us. That Python has been installed successfully for us, and yes, we have Python successfully installed, so you can simply close this. Now, how do we know if we have the IDLE? You just come to search bar and type IDLE, And look at that. We have IDLE Python 3.12, 64 bits. Depending on the version of Python you install, that is what is going to determine the version of your IDLE. If I open this IDLE now, it's going to give me a place where I can write my code. All right. So if I print, let me type print now. Let me see. Let me enlarge that and print hello world. If I print this and I enter, you can see that we have hello world here. All right. So IDLE allows you to also run Python code, but it's not as effective and efficient as IDE. Now, a good example of IDE is VS Code, the one that we are using now, Sublime Text, all right, Jupyter Notebook, Spider. Okay. So for some people now, I think some of our students here are asking me about PyCharm. PyCharm is also IDE. All right. So if you have PyCharm, you can also stick to PyCharm. If you don't have PyCharm, you can install PyCharm or you can install VS Code. But in this class, we are going to be using VS Code for our tutorials. For our classes, we are going to be using VS Code. So now I'm going to go back to that VS Code and just to walk you through the idea of IDE and IDLE. Now, this is our VS Code here. So let me just enlarge the screen so that, okay, you might be able to see what we have there. So that being said, the first thing we will talk about is Python syntax. All right, Python syntax. Just like we have English language, okay? Just like we are communicating in English language now, that is how we also have what we call Python syntax, okay? So Python syntax can be executed by directly writing it either in the command line or within this your VS Code here, okay? And there are rules that actually guide Python syntax. So if I want to print hello world now, which is going to be the first thing you are going to run as a Python developer, print hello world. Now, if I run this code here, look at this run here, this play button here. If I click that, my terminal will be open below the code editor. Now we have hello world. Okay, it is because the syntax is correct. If I want to greet you good morning, I cannot be saying money good. You see that the structure of that statement is wrong. Money good. You look at me and say, where did this guy came from? All right. So it is good morning. And that is how we also structure this print hello world. And you also make sure that everything you need to add is being added. Because print is a function. And when we had our text here, we added parentheses at the end. That is open and close bracket. Now, because our word is a text here, you must add this quotation in the beginning and a quotation at the end. So you need to understand that, okay? So one of the most important thing about Python syntax too is also indentation. Indentation. Now, when I say indentation, for example, if you write, let me write a code and say if 5 is greater than 3, I want you to print 5 greater than 3. Now, look at the way I'm writing this code. Look at this line 4. It's jump. The print statement does not start from the beginning of the line. It's jump like 4 spaces. That is what we call indentation. Let me run this code now and let's see what is the output. The output is telling us 5 greater than 3. So what we ask is that if 5 is greater than 3, we want you to print 5 is greater than 3. And 5 is actually greater than 3. So that's why you are saying this. So indentation is very, very important in Python. It is telling us that this code here is part of this other code. All right. If I remove this indentation, now let me remove that indentation. When I say indentation, it is the spaces in the beginning of a code line. Don't forget that. The spaces at the beginning of a code line. That is what we mean indentation. So let me remove that spaces now. In fact, without running the code, you've seen that print has already been underlined with red color. Okay. Now, if I run this code, it's telling me indentation error. expected an indented block after if statement on line 3. Okay, so which means our code is going to have an error. So indentation is very, very important in Python. In some other languages now, in some other programming languages, indentation is simply for readability, so that you'll be able to read your code. But in Python, it is very, very important. All right. And also note that the number of spaces that we have at the beginning of that indentation, at the beginning here, is up to you as a programmer. Okay. You can put 2, you can put 4. But the most common that everybody uses is 4. That is the convention. And I also advise you to stick to that convention. But it has to be at least 1. Now, let me remove that and let's just put space like this. I added space, that is 1. If I run this code, is it going to run? Yes, it runs. Which means even 1 space is enough. What if I had 2 and run the code again? It works. So the minimum number of spaces is 1, but the convention, the normal total number of spaces that everybody had is 4. So, and how do we make it 4? You just simply put tab. If you press tab on your laptop, it's going to give you that 4 spaces. Is that clear? I want to believe it is clear. Now, the next thing that we need to quickly talk about is variable. Variable is simply a container, all right, for storing values. You see that what we have been doing ever since now is so as I was saying, sorry about that disruption. Is variable. Let us quickly talk about variable. What we have been doing since we have just been printing. So in Python, variables are created when we assign a value to it. For example, when I say x equals to 5, if I now print 5, if I now print x, we are going to be saying the 5 inside this x. So we have assigned this value 5 to the variable x. So in this context, x is the variable and 5 is the value. Why these equal signs that you are seeing here is called the assignment operator. It's called the assignment operator. Then the next thing we will talk about is Python comment. What do we mean by Python comment? Comment actually starts with either hashtag, this hash like this. When you are creating a comment, you start with hash. And what does it do? It explains what a code is going to be doing. All right. It's going to explain what a code is going to be doing. So now, if I put hash now, I can say this is a comment. It's simply telling us that this is a comment. If I run this code, this one is not going to be printed. The moment Python sees this hash in the beginning of that line, it understands that this is a comment and it's not going to do anything. It's not going to run that code. All right. So that is Python syntax that you need to understand. It's very simple. Out is statement. Sorry, I'm rushing. These are very basic things that is not going to really stress you as such. That's why I'm rushing. All right. So when we say statement, actually, a computer program is a list of instructions to be executed by a program. All right. So when we say we are writing a computer program, you are writing code. You are programming, you are writing code. It is simply a list of instructions that you are giving to a computer to execute. So let me just do like this. Statements. So this, what I'm doing now here is this comment I give here is that I am talking about statement, just like heading. All right. So I say a computer program is a list of instructions to be executed by a computer. Now you see that everything is in red. So let me just add hatch in front so that, all right, it's going to appear like a test. So a computer program is a list of instructions that is to be executed by a computer. So what I mean here is that all the codes you have been writing, they are simply lists of instruction. Look at what I did now. Is an instruction. Print hello world. Does that not sound like an instruction? It's simply an instruction. I'm giving that instruction to my machine. I want you to print hello world, and it printed hello world. I also give it another instruction here. I said if 5 is greater than 3, that is simply an instruction. So if I tell Gideon, if it's going to rain, bring out umbrella, that is an instruction. Or Gideon, if you're coming to class, bring your textbook, that is an instruction. So if 5 is greater than 3, print 5 greater than 3. That is simply an instruction. So in programming languages, you see those programming instructions are actually called statements. You understand that now? So all these things that I'm telling you that they are instructions. Like I'm telling, if I'm talking to human, I will say it's an instruction. But because it is a computer, we call it statement. We call them statements. All right. So this statement now, this one actually is a statement. Print hello world. We call it a statement. All right. So in Python, the statement usually end when the line ends. So this is a statement here, and it ends there. So that statement already ends there. Am I making sense? Oh, I have muted everybody.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So one more thing that we need to also understand that I'll quickly talk about is what we call the input and the output. Yes, input. Input, I think is let me see, Python output. So this is very simple. When I say Python output, it means we want to output something, and you have already seen it. You have already seen it. So I want my viewer to actually see something. That is an output. Okay. So and how do you use the output? How do you output a value? So when I say output, it simply means I want to display something. All right. I want to display something. And how do you display in Python? Who can tell me how to display in Python? We've done it today. We've used it today. But I want to see if you are following me. Can anybody tell me how to output or how to display anything on the screen? What is that thing that we use to display it?
yeah, we
You
use
run
print.
the Python file.
Okay, you run the Python file, yes, but there's something that we use there to display something on the screen.
We use the print syntax.
Who said that? Who said that?
Quadri.
Kodri, God bless you. You're actually correct. We use the print. Look at it here. We use the print.
We use the print. Yes.
Yes. We use the print function to output or to display an output. So don't forget that. So anytime we are talking about an output function or output anything in Python, we simply mean the print function. Okay. So let me comment all of this thing out so that it's not going to disrupt. All right, let me leave it like that. So for example, I want to display to my user. Welcome to Quantified Insight. All right. I want to display to my user, welcome to Quantified Insight. I'll just say print. Hello. Welcome to Quantified Insights. This is very simple. You can see that is the output statement. All right. Hello, welcome to Quantified Insight. You are seeing that on the terminal. That is how to output a statement. Now, I have told you earlier that because this is a text, I had to wrap it inside the quotation. Look at this quotation here in the beginning. Look at this quotation here at the end. Now, let me try and remove this quotation. And let us see what is going to happen. I have removed this quotation. Let me run the code. Let me delete everything here and let me run the code. You see, it is telling us that syntax error, invalid syntax. Perhaps you forgot a comma. Well, it is wrong. It's not a comma. It's a quotation. But we've known that we are supposed to add a quotation. So because it is text, you must add that quotation in order not to have a syntax error. So that is that about that. Now, you also need to understand that when I was adding this particular quotation, you see that I added double quotation. Let me copy this. I can also use single quotation instead of double quotation. Single quotation like this in the beginning and single quotation at the end. And it is still going to give me what I wanted. Let me print that so that you see what I'm talking about. You can see that it's still going to print out the same thing. Either single quotation or double quotation is going to work. All right. So it is because it is text. What if I want to output a number? It's simple. Print 5. It's going to print that 5. And because it is a number, because it is numeric, I don't need that quotation. Okay, look at that. It's printed 5. If you are dealing with text like this, that is when you need to add quotation. Okay, that is when you need to add quotation. So that is just that about that. So I have been able to output text, and I've also been able to output number. All right. Even other than this, I can still output maybe print 5,000. Let us see what is going to happen. 5,000. All right. It says 50. So no comma here. We should print our 5,000 without a comma. All right. Look at that. So it has been printed. I will take time and check your messages in the chat box. All right. Now we are done with that introduction. So does anybody have question before we move in to the next thing, which is Python variables? Any question, please? Let me check the chat box. I think we have messages. We have a lot of messages to attend to. Okay, so it was all right. How do we export our apps from Python 3? Your apps. What apps are you talking about? We've not even gotten to the level of apps. We are still talking about the concept. So there are so many questions that have been seen on the group chat about how to build an apps, how to run an apps. You need to understand the basics, the fundamentals before you start building your apps. All right. So when we get to that level, when we get to that river, we are going to cross. Oh, you said you can't see my screen. So sorry, marvelous. Can you see the screen now? Is marvelous still online? So somebody raises up there. Let me check, please. Just give me a minute. So what do you say? I think it might probably be from your own end, maybe your network. Mohammed, you have Mohammed Abdullahi, you have a question, please.
Yes. So we mean the print command is followed first before anything. So that
You said?
I say the print command will always be the first thing to write before any code.
No, it's not necessary. It depends on what you are doing. It's not necessary. It depends on what you are doing. I'm just using that as an example of how to output or display something.
Okay, I understand.
All right. So it does not mean to be the beginning, to the first thing you are going to write. So you can lower your hand now. Issa Muhammad.
Yeah, I have questions, sir.
Hello? Is that Issa Muhammad?
No, yes, this is Muhammad Abdullahi.
Muhammad Abdullahi. Okay, all right. Sorry.
Yes, I have questions, sir.
All right.
Please, my network was actually most time explainable when you are explaining how to install the Phantom. So please, when you are done, can you please just do a rehearsal on that? My network was not stable by that time.
Question: what do you want me to do for you right now?
I said that when you are done, so that I will not drag other people back again. When you are done with the class, can you please just do us a little rehearsal on that again?
Okay, no problem. So somebody asked a question in the, so how do we run the Python app after downloading it? Okay, there's a video on the YouTube. You can watch that video, how to install that Python.
Okay.
So you just double click on the, after downloading, yes, this is it. After downloading it, you can click this file or you can click the file itself.
After downloading the Python.
After downloading the Python, you will
Okay.
see it in your, go to the download folder. Where did you downloaded this thing?
Okay.
Double click on the file. I hope you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing your screen clear.
All right, double click on the file. This is Python, and
Yeah,
it's going to tell you, do you want to run this thing? You click run, then follow that prompt. Follow the prompt is easy and straightforward. Okay, because I have already installed this thing, that's why it's asking me this question. You will not see the same way I'm saying it like this. So check the YouTube, there is a link. I mean, there is a video on that. So I believe there's no question. Let us please move on to the next thing. So now is Python variable. The next thing we have, the next thing we have right now is Python variable. Okay, so while teaching you this Python variable, I am going to teach you one more thing. So please listen up. So now I didn't teach you how to create a Python file. I just did it without letting you know. So this is how to create a Python file. Like I think I told you last time in the last class that if you are creating a Python file, just like you are creating a Word document or a PDF, there is always an extension that is the last few letters of that file. If it is Word document, it's going to be .cocx. If it is an Excel file, it's going to be .slx. If it is CSV, it's going to be .csv. So if you are creating a Python file, it's going to be .py. So when you see this intro, you now see .py. So let me create a Python file called variable. Who are these people unmuting themselves? Please, we need to have a seamless. All are muted now. I want us to have a seamless class. So I want to create a Python variable now. Now look at the top left here. I have an icon for new file. I have an icon for new folder. I am not creating a new folder. I'm creating a new Python file. So here I am going to click this icon and call it variable. Variable. Now, while I am creating this, I want you to watch this icon here to the left of that variable. You see that it is like an what is it called? It is like is indentation or something of such. So the moment I type .ty, the icon is going to change to a Python icon. So let me remove that y again and put y. You see, the icon has changed to a Python icon. So which shows that we have created a Python file. I click enter, it's going to give me a new and empty code editor page to start writing. So I want to teach you Python variable. If you notice what we have been doing since, we have been printing, and printing. Print hello world, print this, print that. So the most effective way to do things is to declare what we call variable. Now, variables are containers for storing data values. And I'm going to tell you the reason why you need variable. Variables are containers for storing data values. Now, Python has no command for declaring a variable actually, and a variable is actually created when you assign a value to it. How do you do that? Now, let's say I am collecting student's name in my class, all right? And student one, I say student one equals to Gideon. You see that? So if I didn't do something like this, and I wrote Gideon as the first student, maybe I just did like this. I wrote Gideon, I came down, I wrote Abe like this. I wrote Abe. This is not the best approach. I went down again, I wrote another student. It is not the best approach because how do I know who is who? So I simply do student one equals to Gideon. So what we did here is that we have created a variable called student one, and we have assigned a value called, and the assignment operator that we use here is this equals to. This equals to is different from the equals to that you use in mathematics. So student one equals to Gideon. And remember that Gideon is a text. That is why I wrap it, I wrap it round, inside this quotation mark. So if I want to now say, if I want to print Gideon, I don't need to say print Gideon like this again. I will not need to say print Gideon. I just need to say print student 1. Print student 1, and it's going to print Gideon. You can see that now we have Gideon here. All right. So if I say age, what is Gideon's age? Let's say Gideon is 21. Okay. I print age. He's going to now print 21. All right. So that is a variable. A variable is simply a container for storing data value. So let me give you a definition at the top for those who would like a definition. Look at this comment that I use. So a variable is a container for storing data values. That is that. It's as simple as that. Now let me pull up this thing and give an explanation of what I have here. So I said a Python variable. Now look at what I did here. Student name. This is the variable name. Alex is the value. This equals to is the assignment operator. You understand now? Student name is the variable. Alex is the value. Equals to is the assignment operator. So it's as simple as that. All right. So now you might want to ask, why do we need a variable? Now, most of you guys have been playing video games or any game on your phone. Now, when you are playing a game, they will ask you for your username. Okay. Now, when they ask you for your username, you give them your username. How do they know that when you log back in, when you log in again, they should call you that your username? It is because they have stored it inside a variable. Now, if Gideon and Muhammad are playing the same game, how are they able to identify Muhammad as Muhammad and Gideon as Gideon? How are they able to differentiate between Muhammad's score and Gideon's score? It is because it is a variable. So variable is simply a container for storing data value. So that is that about that. All right. Now, before we move on, we need to understand how to get the data type of a particular variable. All right. How to get a data type of a particular variable. Getting the data type of a variable. Now, when I was telling you that, I told you, I said this is a text. I said this is a number. Okay. Python does not see it as in Python we don't call it text. I'm telling you because so that you can be able to understand what I meant. So in Python, there's something we call it. So, and that's what you are going to see now when I print it. How do we know the data type of this student 1? That is the value inside student 1 or the value inside age. So you simply say print type student 1. So because we have added that inside a variable, you will not be printing Gideon again. But the data type of what we want to know is this Gideon. But you're not going to be saying print type Gideon. You are not going to be making reference to student 1. So let me run this code and let's see what we have. What is data type? Look at that. We have class string. So anytime you see a string like this, it means it is a text. So in Python, we call it a string or an object. So next time you want to talk to me, don't tell me this is a text, please. You should tell me it is a string. All right? It is a string. Okay. So, but if you are telling a layman who doesn't understand, you tell them it is a text. So because I see you as a layman 5 minutes ago, that was why I told you it is a text. But right now, you are no longer a layman when it comes to this data type. Now, the next one we have now after that is age. So print type age. If I run this code, what am I going to see? We are seeing class int. Class int. This simply means class integer. And integer simply means number. That is whole number. Remember mathematics, we have decimal number, we have whole number. Whole numbers are number that has no decimal places. We are going to get to data type, and I'm going to discuss. So remember that a variable is simply a container for storing data values. So this student one is a variable. The value inside student one is Gideon. Age is a variable. The value inside this is 21. And to get the data type, what data type is this? Is inside this student one, that is Gideon. Data type is string, also known as text for a layman, a string or an object. Now, what is the data type that's inside age? The data type is integer. Which function are you going to use to know your data type? You use the type function. I am going to ask, I can pick anybody randomly before we finish these classes and ask questions. Please and please don't disappoint me. Now that you are done with this, you've known how to create a variable. It's simply writing the variable name that you want and then putting the value equals to and putting the value. There are other things you need to know. And the first thing is how to name a variable. So Python, variable name. So if you are building a game, okay, if you are building a game, you are going to need variable. So start thinking, how do I need it? How do I need a variable in game? Now, for this other one that we have here, where is it again? Yes, these other ones that we have here, start thinking, how do I need variable in Hello World GUI? How do I need variable in number guessing game? How do I need it in calculator? How do I need it in to-do list? Don't worry, it's going to actually make sense soon. All right. Now, variable name, how do you name a variable? So a variable name can have a variable can have a short name. It can also have a more descriptive name. Okay. So now, let me just do like this. A variable can have a short name and can also have a descriptive name. So now when I say a variable name can be short, you can say x equals to 6. Abi, simple as that. If I say it is more descriptive, student name. Now, this is more descriptive in the sense that you know that this is representing a student name. And which students are we using? Muhammad. All right. So you see that it is more descriptive. X is short, while student name is descriptive. So this has explained what I have here. Okay. Now, that being said, you need to understand that there are rules for creating a variable. There are rules for Python variables. Rules for Python variables. So you don't just sit down out of the blue and say, I want to create a variable. Okay. We have rules that guide variable creation. And what is the first rule? Number one rule that we have is that a variable name must start with a letter or the underscore character. So a variable name must start with a letter or an underscore. And when I say underscore, this is simply an underscore. Okay, so a variable name must start with a letter or an underscore. This should actually let you know that you cannot start a variable name with a number. All right, so a variable name must, you see, I put a must there. Not that it should, it's a must. It must start with a number. Then the second thing that, with a letter or an underscore. The second thing that we have is that a variable name cannot start with a number. A variable name cannot start with a number. You cannot start a variable name with a number. You are going to have an error. Now, a variable name can only contain alphanumeric. That is the number 3 rules. A variable name a variable, why am I making mistake? A variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. So what I mean here is that it can only be from, Z, right? Capital letter A to Z, then 0 to 9, and an underscore. Okay, so this is what you can only have when you are creating a variable name, A to Z. And that A to Z, what I mean is that everything can be capital letter, everything can be small letter. All right, so that is what I mean. Then 4, a variable names are case sensitive. So variable names are case sensitive. So which means age like that, then age like this, then age like this are 3 different variables. So they are case sensitive. What you are seeing here now, you might think that this thing, because it is age, is the same. They are not the same because they are case sensitive. All right. Now, the last thing is that a variable cannot be any of the Python keywords. A variable cannot be any of the Python keywords. All right. A variable cannot be any of the Python keywords. You don't know Python keywords, we are also going to get there. So a variable cannot be.
Sir,
Yes.
you made a mistake.
Okay, where is that?
The variable, a variable cannot be variable.
Okay, thank you. That is so of you. Thank you very much. So a variable cannot be any of Python keywords. Now, we are going to get to this point where we say a variable cannot use any of the Python keywords. So it's as simple as that. That is a variable. Okay. So when you are creating a variable names, always follow these rules. Always follow these rules. Now, take for example, the first rule says a variable can have a variable name must start with a letter or an underscore. So let's say I want to create student name now, for example. I say student name equals to, let's say, John. All right. So if I print student name, is this thing correct? It is correct. All right, because it is everything is what? Everything is letters. What if I went and say, okay, 1 underscore student name? You see that it's already underlined. So let me run this code. It's telling us that syntax error, invalid decimal literal. So which means we cannot use number to start our variable name. If I use another thing other than underscore, let me use percent and underscore. Is it going to work? Let me run the code and let's see. In fact, it's not going to work, but let's see. You can see that invalid syntax. So when creating a variable name, always follow this rule. Always follow this rule. And now we are not actually done. We have 2 methods of creating a variable name. We have what we call the camel case variables and the underscore variables. The camel case variable and the underscore variable. So I say 2 methods of naming a variable. So don't worry that this is still very theoretical. We'll get to It's going to be fun very soon. So now student name here is okay. Let me come like this. Two methods of naming a variable. We have one, which is an underscore. One, which is called an underscore variable. Underscore variable. So when I say an underscore variable, I mean, look at what I have here. So underscore, student name. I use underscore to separate the student and the name. Now, if I use student name like this, it is going to work. It doesn't mean anything. It is definitely going to work. But for readability purpose, you know, so that it is more descriptive and, you know, anybody that's reading it to understand, you simply put an underscore like this. So that is an underscore variable. It's simple, underscore variable. It's more descriptive. Student name, student age, student address, put underscore. So which means we are separating each word. Is the camel case. The camel case method. Camel case method. So instead of having that student name, like we now have student name equals to 4. So here you see what we did here. Each word starts with an uppercase, that is a capital letter. Each word, the first letter of each word rather. Yeah, the first letter of each word starts with a capital letter. So that is camel case. Is that clear? So that is how to name a variable. That is how to name a variable. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Yes,
now,
sir.
okay, now how do you output a variable? I have shown you how to output a variable. You have created a variable, you have assigned a value to it. How do you output it? Can somebody tell me how to output a variable? We've talked about output before. Can somebody tell me how to output a variable?
Sorry, how to what, sir?
How to output a variable, how to display a variable.
By using the print functions and the variable, and stating the variable name.
Impressive. By assigning the variable name, putting the variable name inside the print function. That is it. For example, we can simply print student name, any of these two, and it's going to output that variable for us. And it's as simple as that. Is that clear? It's as simple as that. All right. So, do we have any question? Do we have any question about variable in Python?
No question yet.
All right. So now the reason why you will need variable, actually, I have showed you, I have told you. Okay, you are building a game. You need to be able to identify username. You need to be able to identify their score. So you create a variable, and so that they can store. It can be used to store their values. Okay. Now the next thing we are going to discuss now is Python data types. So it's becoming more interesting, and you need to pay attention. Python data type. Now, in Python or in any programming language, actually, not just in Python, in any programming language. So please listen carefully. This is going to teach you how to use data in Python. So now you need to understand that computers deal with data and values a lot. Computers, they deal with what? Data and values. So any piece of input given to that computer is called data. Anything you give to your computer is called data. Remember when we were in secondary school or primary school, we say, is it a data? Is what do they use to define? We used to define data somehow. That's what we used to define data. So a data is a piece of input that we give to our computer, and the computer is going to process it and give us an information. All right. So a good example is if you give number 2 like this. If you give number 2 to your computer like this, if you ask your computer to print, oh, I made a mistake. So if I say print 2 here, nothing is going to be printed. In fact, there's no way I can run this. And it's because when I was creating my Python data types here, I didn't create a Python file. Who can tell me what is missing here?
Just py.
What .py? Good. Yeah. So I will rename it to dot py. That is impressive. Dot py. Okay, now we can have print 2. So if I give this to Python to print, Python is going to print 2 because Python understand that that is the data. If I say print David, it's still going to print David for me.
Yes.
Good. So those are the things that computer understand. So now data types are a way of classifying data. A way of classifying data so that the computer knows how the programmers intend to use the data. So a way of classifying your data so that you will know how, so that the computer will know how you want to use that your data. All right. That is what we call, that's why we need data type. All right. And in Python, there are various data types, but we are going to deal with the most common data types that we have in Python. The most common data types that we have in Python. So most common data types in Python. So that when you run into an error, you already know what is going on. So is integer. Now I have showed you integer before. So integers are whole numbers that have no decimals or fraction. Integers are whole numbers that have no decimals or fractions. So integers are whole numbers that have no decimal or fractions. Who can give me an example of integers?
2.
Yeah. 2, yes, good. So any number at all. In fact, it can even be minus 5. You know, it can be minus 5 because it has no decimal. So those are integers. Computer knows they are integers. The second one we have is what we call float. Now, this float is the opposite of integer. Very simple. These are numbers that have decimals or numbers that have decimals or fractions. So example is minus 2.5, 3.5, 96.78. As long as there is decimal, as long as it has these points, they are regarded as what? They are regarded as what?
Float.
Float. All right. Now,
Float, sir.
good. The next one that we have is string. Who can tell me the layman term for string?
Text.
Text. Good. Good.
Yes.
So is a sequence.
They are written with quotes marks.
Good. They are written with quotation, right?
Yes, it's like the one you give us at the previous lesson.
Yes.
When naming it in a letter,
Good.
because
Good.
they're so strange.
So they are represented. Now, I will show you what can be confusing for beginners. They are represented by putting them inside quotation. Now, there's something I didn't teach you initially. I think I forgot. So you see that I was using this hashtag as comment. We have two types of commenting. We have singular commenting and we have multi-line commenting. Singular commenting is when you use this hashtag. Okay. If you enter the second line, you must put that hashtag. But instead of doing all of this, we can actually have what we call multi-line commenting. So multi-line commenting allows us to extend to the next line. So I'll just remove this and put triple quotation 1, 2, 3 like this. Then let me remove this hashtag. So if you don't still understand, I will take time to explain to you because I was the one that forgot in the first place. So now, and you can put at the end like this, we now have 1, 2, 3. So this is how to create multi-line commenting. We have singular commenting, we have multi-line commenting. The reason why I want us to do this now is because what I am writing here is already extending and you cannot see the screen until I move to the right. So I can just cut it here like this. Cut. Look at that. So a string is a sequence of character like text that are represented by putting them inside what? Quotation, like this, or like this. Single quotation or double quotation. Now, I will give you example. Example of a string is what we call like this, David, or we can have John. Now, there's something I want to show you. What if I now say like this, 56? Is it a string or a number or an integer?
It's an integer.
It's an integer.
It's a
What?
string.
It's a string.
Why is it a string?
Because of the quotation mark.
Because of the quotation mark. Who is that? Who said that?
Quadri.
Quadri, God bless you. So, the person that said integer, I love the attempt. Okay, I love the attempt that you made. That you said it is a quotation. I mean, it is an integer. I love that. So next time, don't because of you missing it and say you don't want to talk in class. I will come and I will drag you. So if you don't make that mistake now, you will know that you are actually wrong. I mean, so which is actually a good thing. So as I was saying, because we have added a quotation, it has automatically turned to a string. Okay. Now, the next thing that we have, the next data type that we have of this, please, I want you to follow me step by step because you are going to need everything. All right. You are going to need this thing. If you are building your apps, if you are building your project, all of these things that you are saying that we are treating here, you are going to use them, please. So that's why you need to follow. Don't say where do we need? Why do I need this? All of this. You will definitely need them. So when I say boolean, it is called boolean or pronounced a boolean. So a boolean is a statement or expression which has a response that is either true or false. So a boolean, okay, let me just say a statement that has a response that is either true or false. Now, example of this is if I say is 45 equals to 45? Is 45 equals to 45? Now, is 45 equals to 45? True or false? Okay, if I say 45 is equal to 45, is it true or false?
It's true.
Now,
It's
Gideon.
true.
Okay, good. If I say Gideon is a boy, is it true or false?
It's true.
It's true. Impressive. If I say dog is human, is it true or false?
False.
False. Oh. So these are statements which the responses is either true or false. The responses, not the statement itself, the responses is either true or false. Now, I am not just going to stop here now. All right. I'm going to continue and actually show you example of how this one works in reality. So here I have integer here. Okay. So I say, okay, let me just say integer 1. Integer 1 equals to 45. Or okay, 456. Now, good. God have catch all of you now. I know some people don't talk in my class. You will start talking. Chase Junior. Chase, are you there? Chase. Why is Chase not saying anything? Somebody should look for Chase. Okay. Now, Esther Bernard, are you there? Wait, can anybody hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
I can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay.
I can
Chase,
hear
are you
you.
there?
We can hear you.
Yes,
sir.
I want to ask Chase a question. Now, Chase, I want you to answer this question for me. All right. Now, look at this code in line 11. Okay. What is this thing here? What is it called? What is this concept? What is the concept?
Okay, sir.
What?
Sir?
This thing that I highlighted here.
Yes, sir.
Integer underscore one. What is it called in Python?
Integer underscore 1.
Variable.
Yes. What is it called?
Variable.
It is
Case, you are not following. Somebody up.
it is variable.
Yes, variable. It is called variable. Now, let me call somebody else. Legend Abdullah. Legend Abdullah. Are you there? Legend, speak up. Legend, you are committed. Now, this 456, what is it called?
An integer.
What? No, I'm not saying the data type. You are correct when you say it's an integer. But what is it called? When we assign it to a variable, it is called what?
Value.
A what? A what?
Value.
Value.
It is called a value. Yes, good. That is good. Now, how do I know what is data type? I know we all know that it's an integer, but sometimes we need to prove that it's an integer. How do I know that it's an integer? What function will I use? Somebody should tell me. Print type. Yes.
Underscore 1.
Type integer underscore 1. Impress. So in order for me to know what data type this is, good. Now we can now mute ourselves. Let me mute all of us. Now, I love every of your attempts. That is good. It shows you guys are following. So that's how I'll be calling you randomly, which means you need to listen up. I have muted you guys now. What is going on? I think I don't want to waste time. I will have gone and do something. Now, what I'm saying is that I was teaching you this data type integer, okay? And I told you, now I have told you here this is integer, and I want to prove if I am right or I am wrong. I need to use this type function. So let me run this code and let's see what we have. I run the code and we have class int. It means we are correct. So that is integer. If I change it to minus, if I will change it to negative 456 and I run it, what are we going to see? We must see an integer. You see that class integer. So either negative or positive, as long as it does not have a decimal point, it is going to be regarded as an integer. Now, the next thing that I have here is what I call float. Okay. Now, this float one, let me call it float one. This float one is just a variable for me to be able to, assign a value to it. So I now say for 56.90. All right. If I say print type float one, if I say print type float one, let me check and see what is good. Look at that class float. So float is always going to come with a decimal point. You are going to need all of this. As in fact, if you are building a calculator, you will need this. So you must follow it. And I want somebody to also build a calculator for us. Now, the next thing we have is a string. So let us check string. So I say string 1 equals to let me call Esther. I saw Esther Bernard there. So Esther Bernard. Now, if I print data type, so I print type of string 1, it is supposed to give us string. Okay, so look at that. We have class str, which means string. So which means this data type is called string. To a layman, we call it text. All right. Now, let me use another example and say and call this string 2. That string 2 now, okay, I now pass in 76 so that we will see that the moment you wrap your value inside the quotation, it has automatically turned into a string. All right, look at that. Oh, sorry. I say, you see, when I printed it out, now look at what I'm printing. It's printing 76. To you, who is human, you are seeing a number. All right. But under the hood for your computer, it is not seeing a number, it is seeing a text. Let us prove that. So I'll print type and I'll print string 2. Type of string 2. Let us check what we are saying. Look at that. We are saying string. Okay. But when we printed, let me do that again. When we print string 2, you humans, we are saying what? We are saying 76, which is a number. But your computer is telling you that Oga, this is not a number. I'm saying string. Oh, it is because under the hood, it is being wrapped around, we have it inside the quotation. For data analysts now, people who are data analysts, once they are doing their data analysis, there is a time that they will need to start using this thing called typecasting. So they will be seeing 76, but they will not be able to add. You cannot add this thing together now. 76 and 70. I mean, you cannot add this thing together as a number. All right. So that is how to actually understand all of this. Now, the next one we have is we call boolean. A boolean, a statement that has a response that is either true or false. So let me create a variable and call it boolean 1 and say I say 45 greater than 45. Now somebody should answer me, is 45 greater than 45?
No, sir.
No. So what is going to be the response? What is going to be the response?
No.
False.
False.
False. False.
False.
So let's run the code and let's see.
Sir, false.
Now look at that. It is false. Good. Now, if I say print boolean 1 and I say print type boolean 1, what are we supposed to see?
Boolean.
45.
Boolean. What? Somebody says 45.
Yes, 45.
No, Boolean.
Okay. Let's test it. We see we have class bool. So it is boolean. We want to know the data type of this thing. Look at the definition I gave you. I said a boolean is a statement that has a response that is either true or false. All right, 45 equals to 45. Now, let us test this one again. 45 equals to 45. So let's test it. We have boolean 2 equals to 45 equals to 45. Now print boolean 2. Then print type boolean 2. Now, if I run this code, we should see, you see, boolean. 45 is equal to 45. It is true. Type is also class boolean. Do you see that? So that is just how it works. Okay. Now, are you guys following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I just want to be sure we are still on the same page. So that is how to, everything you need to know about data type. Now, there's one more data type that you need to know. We call that data type arrays. So let me go back down here and say we have what we call 5. So, and this file, I will send you, I'm going to create a note, okay? I will send you that note so that you guys can be using it. You see these arrays, okay? So these are data types that contains a sequence of elements. They are data types that contains a sequence of elements. All right. So example of arrays now that we have is list. We have list. We have tuple. Yes, we have tuple. We have dictionary.
Sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes, boss.
You made a mistake, sir.
Okay. Sequence
The place that you write element.
Yes, thank you very much. So they are data types that contains a sequence of elements. An example is list, tuple, dictionary, and set. We will get there. We call them data structure. So if you are working on a to-do list, if you are working on a to-do list tab, you need to be very, very serious when you get to list, because you are going to use that too. So that is just that about data types. Do we have any question?
No.
Sir, I was left behind.
You have been left behind
from the boolean.
Okay. You have boolean.
Yes.
Okay, when I said boolean, all right, I said boolean is a statement that has a response that is either true or false. So if I say Gideon, Gideon is a boy, right? If I say Gideon is a boy, the answer is yes, it is a boy. All right. No, if I say Gideon is a boy, is it a true or a false?
It's true.
It's true. So that is a boolean. Okay. Now, if I say 45 is equals to 45, is it true or is it false?
It's true.
It is true. All right. Now, if I say 45,
the network is going.
If I say 45 is greater than 45,
True.
Is it true or false?
False.
False.
Impressive. So any statement that you wrote and the response is either true or false. The response is not a number. The response is not a text. The response is not a float or an integer, but the response is a true or false scenario. It is called a boolean. So if I ask you, your age, is your age greater than or lesser than 18? All right. So those are the places where you need to use, boolean. Hello, are you there? Who is that making noise there? So the next thing we have now, I hope I'm not rushing us actually.
Sir, I have a question.
All right.
So how come you use 2 equals to where you are connecting with 45, like 45 equals to, I can see 2 there.
Good. You are seeing this 45, you are seeing 2 equals to, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, in Python, okay, because we have an idea or we have a concept called variable. When we did variable, we use that equals to, okay, and that equals to in variable simply means an assignment operator. Let me go back there.
Okay.
Because we have used this single equals to here, and the equals to is simply an assignment operator. Assignment in the sense that we say we have assigned Gideon to the value. We have assigned Gideon to the value, to the variable student 1. Because we have used that, when we want to do anything that has to do with mathematics, equals to 4 equals to 3, 2 equals to 1, we are now going to use some double equals to. All right.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay.
So this is what we call an equality one. Equality is equals to equality. Why that one? That other one is assignment. In mathematics now, in our mathematics, this equals to here is equality. But in Python, we don't call it equality here. We call it assignment operator. That is, we have assigned the value Gideon to the variable student 1. We have assigned the value 1 to the variable age. So the equals to in mathematics now, that is now where we are using this double equals to. Hey, look at the
Okay.
equal to here. This assignment here, we have it here. So we cannot
Yes.
be using the single equal to again here. We now use double, which means equality. Have I been able to answer your question?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the next one we have actually, I will call it a day so that I'm not going to overload you. Is what we call we can actually rush this, and it's called arithmetic operators. All right, arithmetic operators. So you also need to follow this. If you also need to pay attention because you are going to need it. If you are building calculator, so I'll call it arithmetic operators. Remember the last class we had, okay? The last class we had, I told you that we can use Python for numerical computing, for mathematics. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
One of our there was a doctor that joined us. He said he wants to be able to use Python for data science. All right. I don't know if he's on the call today, but he said he wants to use Python for data science and machine learning and all of that. When you are doing that, you need mathematics. So which means you must be able to actually use Python for numerical computing, which means we need arithmetic operators in computing. In Python. So arithmetic operators are simply the symbols with which we can perform operations on numerical data types. Okay? Arithmetic operators are used to perform operations on numerical data types. Somebody should give me the example of numerical data types that we have. I want to see how you guys think. Numerical data types that we have.
1010.
Integer.
No, that is not the answer that I need. What are the two? There are two data types in Python that are numerical data types. I just finished teaching you data types.
Integer.
Float and integer.
Integer and float.
Float and
Integer
integer.
and float.
Yes, good job, guys. So these arithmetic operators now can only be used on float and integer. All right. So, and the first one that we have is the one we call addition. Addition. Like this is how we write addition. So this is used to add two numbers. Okay. Now, a good example is, let's say, print 5 plus 5. What is going to be the answer? If I run this code, what?
It's 10.
10. So let's see that. You can see that it is 10, which means you can do mathematics using Python. All right. The next one we have is called subtraction, like this. Yes, subtraction. And what do we use? Is actually just like in mathematics, to subtract one value from the other. So subtract
one value from the other.
Yes. So it is used to subtract one value from the other. So if I print 50 minus 10, what is going to be the answer?
40.
Impressive. You can see that 50 minus 10 gives us 40. So the next thing that we have,
Multiplication.
Okay, let's try multiplication there. Multiplication. Who can tell me the symbol for multiplication?
Star.
Star.
Good. Star. So multiplication is used for multiplying. So let me show you the symbol, which is asterisk, like this. Like you said, star. Asterisk. We call it asterisk. So let's say print 10 asterisk 10. So the answer is going to give us what?
100.
100.
So the reason why I'm rushing this is because it is very simple and you can also easily get it. Now, the next one we have is division. Okay, who can give me this thing for division?
Slash.
What?
Slash.
What? Slash. Forward slash or back slash?
Forward slash.
Forward slash like this?
Forward slash. Yes. No.
Forward slash like this.
No, backslash. Yes, like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Print 10 forward slash 2. The answer is going to give us what?
5.
So you are actually correct. But it's not going to be 5. It's going to be 5.0. All right. So you see that everything we have been doing. So that's why I said you pay attention. Everything we have been doing, okay, has been giving us one data type. Wait, don't talk. Let me call somebody here. Michael, Oluwafemi, are you there? Now, only Michael. Now, everything we have been doing here since has been giving us 10, 40, 10, 5.0. The answer has been one data type. From 10 to well, the answer has been one data type. Somebody,
please come again.
What? Now, I say everything we have been doing from the beginning, from addition to subtraction and multiplication.
Yes,
the data type has been what? The output data type is what?
They are all numerical data.
Yes, they are all numerical data types. And what do we call them in Python?
We call them float, either float or an integers.
Are you sure they are float? I think they must be so. I mean, from 10, 40, 100 is what data type?
Okay, sorry, they are all integers.
Integer. God bless you. Now, why this 5.0 is called what?
That one is float because it has a decimal point.
Yes, good, impressive. So what I want you guys to notice is that only this division actually gave us a floating point number. Okay, a floating point data type. So always pay attention to that. Now, the next thing that we need, the next arithmetic operators is what we call the floor division. The floor division. Now, for the floor division, okay, for the floor division, who is making noise there? Tovia is a co-host. You can mute all of them. Tovia, you are a co-host. You can mute all of them. So, sorry about that, guys. So, for the floor division, the symbol is simply for 2 forward slash. All right. And what does floor? But only returns the whole number without the remainder or fraction. Okay. So, it divides. Pay attention. It divides two numbers, but only return the whole number without the remainder or fraction. Okay, so that is what floor division does. Floor division is going to divide two numbers, but is only going to return the whole number without the remainder or fraction. So now let's do something. Let me give you a very simple one. If I say, let's say 10, let me print 10 divided by 3. Okay. So with this definition, can anybody guess? So when we divide 10 by on the normal circumstances, under normal circumstances, use your calculator to divide 10 by 10. 10 by 3 there. 10 divided by 3 will give us what? 10 divided by 3 is going to give us 3.3. All right. So 10 divided by 3 is going to give us 3.3. But if I run this code now, if I now run this code with floor division, that is the double / like this. When I run this code, it's going to return just 3. Look at that here. Return the 3, but does not return the remainder. It does not return the remainder. That is what the floor division does. It is going to return that whole number in
3
front. It will not return the remaining 3. So another example is what I say, print maybe 10 divided by, let me use another one. 10, we don't call it floor divided. We say, let's say 15 floor division 4. Yes. So 15 divided by 4 is going to give us 3.75. 3.75. But because we use floor division, it's going to give us just 3 without the 75. So let me change it to maybe 17. Let me change it to 17. So 17 divided by 4 is going to give us 4.25. The reason why I'm changing to 17 is because I don't want us to see this 3. Let us use another thing. So 17 floor division 4 is going to give us 4.25, but it's going to return just 4 and leave us with it's going to return 4 and it's going to remove that 25. Now, the question you might want to ask me is that what if the only thing I need is the remainder, right? So that is where we now have the modulo. This can be confusing because, in fact, even me, when I was starting out, I was confused. So we return the remainder. So only returns the remainder when two values are divided. Okay, so it's just like it's just like the opposite of the opposite of floor division. The floor division will return the one in front, that is the whole number, and it's not going to return the decimal. But the modulo will return the decimal and is not going to return the whole number. Now, I am going to use the 10 floor division 3 that we use and 17 floor division 4 that we use. So let's print. We're now going to print 10 modulo 3, right? Was it 3? Yes, 10 modulo 3. So remember that when I said 10 divided by 3 is going to give us 3.33, right? Now, that 33 at the end is what this one is going to return. Let me print and let's see what we have there. Oh, sorry.
It's supposed to be 1.
Sorry. God bless you. It's going to remain the remainder. It's going to leave us with the remainder. So because it is now not up to 3, not up to 1, it's going to approximate it to 1. It's just like when we say, if I ask you 3 divided by 7. Let's use this crude mathematics when we're in secondary school. We will say how many times does 3 goes in 10? You will say 3 times, right? The remainder what?
1.
Remainder 1. So exactly. So that's what we are having here. Remainder 1. The remainder 1 is what is now releasing for us here. Now, if I use print 17 modulo 4. Now, let's run the code, and it's also going to give us 1 because 17 divided by, so it's giving us the remainder. So it is the remainder that you are going to get. So you need to start thinking. There will be a time I will give you some homework that will require you to think, what am I going to use here? What am I going to use here? All right. And you cannot use anything other than either the modulo or the floor division. So start thinking how you are going to use all of this. So the last one we have is called exponential. We have that in mathematics. The only one that is not common is the modulo and this thing. Exponential, the modulo and floor division. Yes.
Flow
So
division.
exponential in mathematics, we always use this. What do we used to call it? Like this. But here we are not going to use double asterisk. Okay. So it's the same thing as raised to the power of yes. Raised to the power of. So if I say print 5 raised to the power of 2,
It's
it
25.
is going to give us 25. Impressive. God bless you. Give us 25. So that is how this one works. All right. Time is almost against us. So the last one, can I still teach you one more concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So which is going to be the last? It is called the order of operations. Order of operations. So if you are going to build calculator for us, you need to be very, very conscious of all of this. All right. So the order of operations. Now I have taught you arithmetic operators. You see that bar? Arithmetic operators where we have the addition, the subtraction, the multiplication, the division, the modulo, the exponential, the plus division. Just like in mathematics where we have order of operations, where we have board mass, we have bracket open, what again? Division, and multiplication, and in that order, exactly. In that order, we also have what we call order of operation in Python, order of operation.py. I am going to send you notes. I'm also going to send you your homework against next class. So,
okay.
Order of operation and order of operation. Now, in mathematics, in Python, it simply means how Python decides how to perform calculation. Okay, how Python decide how to perform calculations. Okay, so this is how you decide. How do I calculate this thing? All right. So now let's take a look at this. Let me give you one good example. I say print. I ask Python. I say, Chief, please, I want you to print 3 multiplied by 4 plus 5. Then outside of that, I say minus 4 divided by 2 plus 1. Don't be scared though if you don't know mathematics, you don't like mathematics. This is nothing. So that you will not say that I am sending you, I'm pursuing you. Now, look at this code. Somebody should quickly tell me, what the output is going to be.
Yes, first of all, you divide 4 by 2.
4 divided by 2, which is 2, right?
The answer is 5.
The answer is 5, okay? Somebody said 5.
Yes, 5.
Next, who have another? Now, let's run the code and let's see if you are correct. Now, the answer is 26.0. You are surprised, right? It's normal for you. It's normal. I love the attempt. I love the attempt. So I want you guys to be attentive so that I want to know you guys personally. And I can only know you personally when you attempt questions, when you answer questions. Now, our order of operations in Python is what we call, there is an acronym for that. I call it PEMDAS, like this. Sorry. PEMDAS, yes, like this. So when I say PEMDAS, this is how it's going to do it. This is how Python is going to do your calculations for you. It's going to follow this order. Now, tenses. Now, anytime we are in a class and I use parentheses, don't tell me you don't know what is a parenthesis. Parenthesis simply means brackets. All right. So I will not be using brackets for you. I will be using parentheses. Now, the next order is exponential. Okay. After that exponential, Python will now move on to multiplication. When it's done with multiplication, what is the next thing?
Division.
Good. After division, what is the next thing?
Addition.
Addition.
Good.
Addition.
After addition, we have what?
Subtraction. Subtraction.
Subtraction.
Subtract.
Yes, sir.
We press subtraction. This is the order Python is going to follow to do your bidding. All right, to do your calculations for you. So it is as simple as this. So if we follow this order now, all right, and parentheses, what we mean by parentheses is okay.
It's 4
So what are we supposed to do? To follow this thing, we are going to first add this one together, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Are you following me? So 4 plus 5 is what?
9.
Yes, sir.
9. Now, it means we are done with this parentheses
Like
now, because we have been able to do this. So we now have like this print. So we now have print 3 multiplied by 9 minus 4
9
divided by 2 plus 1. Okay. So now that we have this, what is the next thing that we have to do?
It's multiplication.
Multiplication, right?
Yes.
That is 3 by 9.
Yes, it's 3 times 9.
Go
Yes.
for
That is 27, right?
Yes.
7.
27. Then
Minus.
we now have minus 4 divided by 2. What is minus 4 divided? No, what is the next division? Minus 4 divided by 2 is what?
2.
It's minus 2.
It's minus 2.
Minus 2.
So we now have minus 2. Right? And
Plus 1.
plus 1, right?
Yes.
Plus minus
So we now have 27 minus 1, sorry, minus 2 plus 1.
The answer
Are you following that up?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The answer is so. The reason why you are seeing 0.0, who can tell me the reason why we are seeing 0.0?
The answer will be 26.
Because of the division.
Because of the division. Impressive. Because of the division. So we are not going to do anything here because that is the end. You know, that is the end of today's class. There will be homework for you from the beginning to the end. There will be homework for you. Next class, our next class is going to be. I have other classes that I attend to. So I think our next class will be Wednesday. Wednesday, I will get back to you on the platform. So let me do a quick recap of what we did. But before then, do you have any question, please?
Hello, sir. I have a question, sir.
Okay, Ahmed, right?
Yes, sir.
Where are you going?
Thank you so much for the class.
Sir,
My question is this.
sir, I have a question.
My question is this.
Let Ahmed finish.
I follow you through the lesson and I really enjoyed the lesson. But there is something that is confusing and I want you to clarify it for me, sir. Initially, you asked us to download a Python.
Okay.
And then we download the VS Code. Now, I want to know which one are we going to be using to run the program? Is it the Python or the VS Code? Which one, sir? That's what I want to know.
All right. So sorry, I didn't really walk you through. Everything that you need to know. Now you see Python, okay? You need to first install Python on your system. After the installation of Python on your system, you need to be able to run Python. Okay? How do you be able to run Python code? We have what we call the IDE and IDLE. I have explained that initially. Okay? So IDLE is called Integrated Development Learning Environment. The moment you install Python on your system, IDLE come pre-installed. All right? The moment you install Python, IDLE come pre-installed. And we did it. We searched for it here. But IDLE is not enough for you to start building apps, to run all of your code, to do all of that. Okay? You now need what we call IDE. IDE is Integrated Development Environment. It does not have learning there. Integrated Development Environment. All right? But when you want to start building stuff, you want to start building things, you use IDE. And that was why I started with IDE with you. So in order for you to start running Python on your system, we are going to be using VS Code. You will see that this thing that I pull up here, everything that I'm running here is inside my VS Code here. Okay, but you cannot run this without installing Python. It's not going to work. You must first install Python on your system. After installing Python, you will install VS Code. When you open up VS Code here, okay, you will come to this extension here, to the left here. We have extension here. You now type inside this search bar, look for Python 2 again. All right, I think it's there. You type Python. Why is it not fresh? Show local extension. See here. Just a minute. This is the extension. So inside in here, you type, you look for Python. Okay, look at it here. Python. You see that I have installed it. You need to install that too. All right. So it's a Python, is an extension for VS Code. After you are done with that, you'll be asked to select an environment. You come down here, select an environment here, and you can select which Python you need. 3.14, 3.13, 3.12. Me, I have 3.12 on my system. I have 3.13 on my system. I have 3.14. But right now, I'm using 3.14. So when you face any issue, please don't hesitate to just message us on WhatsApp. We're going to reply. All right. Have I answered your question at all?
Yes, sir.
All right. Somebody asked if the video recording will be available. Yes. Yes, sir. Mr. Innocent. Yes, we are recording. Mustafa, you have a question. Your hand is up. Mustafa Yusuf. Mustafa is not saying anything. Ahmed Akane Abubakar, you have a question. Why are you people not saying anything? It's all right. In the absence of, I hope you guys can hear me actually. So, Ahmed, your hand is up. Mustafa, your hand is up.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. Hey, okay, Abe, your hand is up, right?
Yes, sir.
So sorry, I didn't notice. You have a question? Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So when you were talking of division, you mentioned that the parent type is float. So I wanted to ask if division and floor division they also share the same parent data type. Is floor division also float? Because you were not specific about the floor. You said
okay. Your question is, does when we use the question is that when we use division, the output of that division,
yes, sir,
is float, right?
Floor division, yes, sir.
Now you're not asking the output of floor division. Is it also float? Line 14 and line 15, that is floor division. Look at the output, 1 and 1. So tell me, is the output float or integer?
It's integer.
Impressive. I love that. So the output of floor division is integer because it does not have decimal points.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Another question. Ahmed, your hand is up. Mustafa, your hand is up. So let me just quickly do a quick revision of what we did. So when we started, I told you that in order for you to be able to use Python on your system, all right, let's say you don't have you need to first find out, do I even have Python installed on my system? Or let's say your friend asks you, Gideon, Muhammad, or Innocent, you are learning Python. Okay, please, I want to start learning Python. I want you to install Python on my system. What are you going to do? The first thing you need to do before downloading Python is to go and check, does this laptop have Python? Just imagine I give my laptop out. you know, maybe I get a new laptop and I dash somebody my laptop. I already have Python installed on my system. Okay, what if that person wants to learn Python? Would the person go and be downloading again? So the most appropriate and logical thing to do is to check. Open up your command prompt. Okay, you open up your command prompt. How do you open up your command prompt? You go to your search bar. So this is my search bar here because I'm using Windows 11. And type command. Before you finish, you will see the command prompt here. So when you open your terminal, you give it a command, and that command is going to be Python space -- version. You see that, and you click enter. If Python is installed, the Python version on your laptop will be shown. If Python is not installed, nothing is going to be shown. So if Python is not installed, you simply open up your web browser, the web browser of your choice, and go to Python website. Okay, you can either type python.org or you just type Python download on Google. Python download. Once you click Python download, you are going to see python.org. This website, the first output, you click it, and it's going to take you to Python website. I don't know why this thing is just misbehaving. No, since this is what I have been saying. Let me reload. Okay, good enough. Now you are on the website. I made a mistake when I started that you should start with download Python install manager. Don't do that. You can, the first thing you need to, what you need to do is to get the standalone installer for Python 3.14.2. That is the latest version. Now you click this Python 3.14.2 because you are using Windows. All right. You click that. When you click that, it's going to start downloading. Now check this top right. Nothing is there yet. There's no download icon. Once I click this download, you will see that it's going to change. I click download. I wait, and let's wait and see. Look at that. Python is already downloaded. I click that. Now you can see. So let me pause it because I've already downloaded it. So Python 3.14.2 is already downloaded. Okay. So when you are done downloading it, look at this one here. So you click this envelope or you click this file itself. If you click the file itself, it's going to ask you, do you want to run this file? If you click the envelope, okay, it's going to take you to the download folder. So look at this download folder here. I have Python 3.14.2. I will double click, and it's going to ask you, do you want to run this file? You click run. So from here on, it is easy. Now, the reason why you are seeing modify setup is because I already have Python installed on my system. If I don't have Python installed, this is going to be a different case. So from here on, it's going to be a very simple thing. They're going to ask you to accept their terms and conditions, accept it, and move on. After installation, you can now come back and type, command prompt Python space -- version to check the Python version. You are going to see it. Then you can also search IDLE, the integrated learning environment that I told you, to run your Python in script mode. Okay, look at that here. All right, so you can start printing or running Python file here, hello world, like this. So you can start running Python, here. And you can also open a Python file. So the one I open here, these files that I run here, all these files, I can run in this script mode. All right. So, but this is IDLE. It is not enough for you to be building stuff. Okay. That is why we now have IDE. And there are various IDE out there. I told you, I said we have Sublime Text. That was what I started using when I was starting out. It is very simple, straightforward, not so comprehensive like this. We have Visual Studio Code. We have Jupyter Notebook. I use Jupyter Notebook because I am a data scientist. Now, we have PyCharm. Most of you already know PyCharm. All right. So you can now pick the one of your choice and download. But because in this class, I will be using Visual Studio Code, that is why I asked you guys to download Visual Studio Code. Now, how do you download Visual Studio Code? Simply come to your search bar again and type VS Code download. It's going to take you to the website. The first link, click that first link, and it's going to take you to their website. My network is just showing me. I don't know. So it's supposed, what is, okay, am I still online? I'm still online now.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
If I believe in village people now, I will have said it is my village people that is actually, or some of you have village, believe in all these village people.
Yes, sir.
No, no.
Some of the village people are disturbing us. All of you that go to the village for Christmas, okay. Okay. Now, so when you navigate to this website, you are going to see for different operating system. We have for Windows, we have for Ubuntu, we have for Fedora, we have for Mac. But because I'm using Windows, to start downloading here. Look at that. Thanks for downloading VS Code. Download not starting. Try this direct download link. But it's supposed to start. But one way or the other, you went to the village and did not do what you're supposed to do. Now your village people came to visit us there. So if good enough, the thing start downloading, you are going to see it here. So you click this place. Once it's done downloading, you can look at it here. I already have VS Code installer. So you click that. It's still the same way Python is asking you. That's how this thing is also going to ask you. You run this file. Now, setup has detected that Visual Studio Code is currently running. So please close all instances of it, and because I have it installed, I don't have any issue. Now, when you have installed Visual Studio Code, let me show you how it is going to. Let me show you what you are going to see first. File. New Windows. Now, for the first installer, this is something, the kind of a thing you are going to see. The interface is going to be like this, kind of like this. You are going to have welcome message like this, all right? And now when you click this envelope there, you are going to see all of this. So you minimize that, minimize all of this, minimize all of this. Now, what you want to do is that you want to have a Python tutorial folder, okay? So you can create that folder individually by coming to your File Explorer. This is called File Explorer. This envelope here is called File Explorer here. You click that File Explorer, and if you want to create this on the desktop, you come to your desktop here now and create a folder called Python tutorial. I already have that. Create Python tutorial. Inside Python tutorial, you can now create Python basics so that you can have everything basic inside Python basic. When you get to advanced, you can create another folder called Python advanced. Now, instead of doing this here, you can do that in your VS Code as well. How do we do that? I click File. I come to Open Folder. All right. Now, I will navigate into my desktop folder. Look at the desktop here. Then, now, I am inside my desktop. Look at it. I have Python tutorial here. But let's just imagine I don't have Python tutorial. Let me create a new folder. Look at it. New folder here. Now, I can now say Python tutorial 2. Because I already have one, let me just put 2 here. I click Enter. So, when you double click again, you double click that Python tutorial 2. I want to create Python basics inside. I click New Folder. I'll call it Python Basic.
Python Basics.
Yes, and I click Enter. If I double click, I am inside Python Basic. I am inside Python tutorial 2 inside Python Basics. I select folder. So, like I gave you example initially, I said it's just like in your room. Okay, you are going into the kitchen. Before you enter into the kitchen, where are you going to pass through? You pass through the sitting room. All right, from the sitting room to the dining to the kitchen. So here now we are going to inside Python Basics. We are going to pass through Python tutorial 2. Now I am inside Python Basics. I want to create a new Python file. How do I do that? Okay, so because the homework I'm going to give you now, I will tell you create a Python file. If I ask you to create a Python file called Ramajago, you will know that it is going to be ramajago.py. So create a Python file called introduction. Look at this icon here. Let me enlarge this thing. Now, look at this icon. The icon has disappeared when I remove my cursor. But if you want to see the icon, you look at that. I remove the cursor into this area. Now, I have Python new file. I have new folder. But because I want to create new file, I'll click this icon. And I ask you to create introduction.py, introduction.py. So if I say create a Python file, it is going to be the name of that file .py. Then you click enter. A new code editor has been opened for you. Then you can start typing anything you want to type. All right. So that is that about that. And I have taught you, I give you introduction. I told you about the Python syntax, the print function. I told you about indentation. I told you about comments. This is a comment. And I forgot to tell you about single line comment. Multi-line comment. A single line comment we use just one hash, and a multi-line comment we use triple quotation in the beginning and triple quotation at the end. So what is the difference between single line comment and multi-line comment? If I'm using single line comment here, I will use hashtag in the beginning. If I go to the next line, I will use another hashtag, or else my code will break. For multi-line comment, once anything I'm writing inside this place, Python will see it as a comment and it's not going to run it. And why do you need a comment? A comment is going to explain what your code is doing. All right, a comment explains what a code is doing, and you have seen me do that numerously in this class. So we talk about variable. I told you that variable is a container for storing data value. Look at it here. I also told you how to create a variable name. That is the rule that guides creating a variable name. Then I talked about Python data types. I said we have integer, float, string, boolean, arrays. I also gave you example of all of those ones. I gave you arithmetic operators where we have addition, subtraction, and all of that. Then I moved on into order of operation. And I told you we have PEMDAS, just like we have board mass in mathematics. It is called PEMDAS. So that is what we did today. The video of this class will be made available. Let me even stop recording immediately so that